Chomp.
And we're back again with another Silverhawks review. This time we're going to be looking at SteelHeart from Super7's Ultimate line. So let's go ahead and pop her out of the shipping box. And just like with everybody else, she's in this amazing silver chrome box. It's the same as every other Silverhawk. Silver with embossed logos, SteelHeart on the bottom. And let's go ahead and do a slip reveal. Okay. I have been looking forward to her the most. I am a fan of the female figures, so let's get in this profile. She doesn't look bad. I like a lot going on with her. That being said, I like the first expression. This second one looks like she's smelling something. She doesn't look bad though, I gotta say. I'm pleasantly surprised. She looks good. Got a nice little chrome little image on the back with her bio. SteelHeart, Silverhawks Sergeant. SteelHeart, a human law enforcement officer modified into a cyborg to withstand the effects of hyper-travel through space. This grants her enhanced physical abilities such as strength, agility, and speed. She has a hawk-like faceplate that covers her face while flying or fighting, as well as built-in wings for atmospheric and space flying gliding. She has a built-in laser in her arm for combat and retractable talons in her feet for attacking while flying. SteelHeart is very intelligent and level-headed. She always knows how to get herself out of danger. Her technical skills are also highly valuable in keeping the Silverhawks technology ahead of the Limbo mob. I've been waiting to get her for years now, so let's go ahead and pop her out of the box. Alright, SteelHeart. Now, first impressions, I think she looks really good. I like this face sculpt. There is a little bit of mush right there on the flesh paint. That's pretty bad. But I feel like the skin tone is amazing. The eyebrows are done well. The eyes are done well. The mouth is done very well. The sculpt, it's okay. I'm very irritated about that little mush of paint right there. But, you know, what do you do? Her physique is pretty good. I think they made the right decision here by not putting a cut there at the waist. It would have been a lot more difficult to sculpt her form properly, I think. Other than the forearm, hand, this band, and her face, and the band on her leg, nothing else is painted. So she just has this blue metallic overlay spray on her body. It's definitely more prominent on her arms and legs, just like with Steel Will. Let's check out her articulation. Her head, oh man, that's awful. Her head only twists. It does not pivot in any fashion up or down. How did they mess that up? I don't understand that. There's no hair in the way. I know that she's got a slender neck, but there's absolutely no reason they could not have made her neck articulated. That's just, I don't get it. There's absolutely nothing there. It's just twist. That's awful. She has the same issue with Quicksilver. This cut, which makes it look like it would bobble back and forth and crunch, but it's just a twist. So what was the point? I don't see a point if you're going to just make it one motion. Of course, she's got her shoulder hinge and swivel, a bicep cut, a single jointed elbow, which goes 90 with a twist. This seam line on her forearm is atrocious. That looks really bad. And her hands are swivel and hinged. Since this is a solid plastic torso, she cannot get any motion out of her hips. That's as far up as she goes. Now, the appeal of the lack of the rubber pelvis is gone because the sculpt looks good, but the articulation is non-existent. There's absolutely, what is that, like a 10 degrees, And if you push it, you're going to mar the inside of the thigh against that plastic. You can already see where it pushes in. There is a twist, ever so slight. Her knees are really tight. But they do go 90 degree and they also swivel. Gosh, those are really tight knees. And she's got her ankle hinge and rockers, which aren't bad, but just like Quicksilver, they're kind of loose. She's going to stand okay because, you know, she's only like half the weight of, say, Quicksilver. Her lack of ability to look up is rather terrible. Her lack of hip articulation is disappointing. But she looks good. The sculpt is amazing. I gotta say, it's really nice. So let's set her to the side and take a look at her accessories because, what else are you gonna do? She has 2 flavors of her Hawk. And the Hawk does have the hinged hips. And the head does rotate. This Hawk looks good. I think the paint apps on the Hawk are excellent. The sculpt is fun. It's very cartoony. I was hoping that the Hawk would be able to clip on her arm. It barely can, even though it's soft. Be careful if trying to attach him to anything. These feet are very thin right there at that joint. That little spot right there where the foot meets the leg. That's crying to just break off. So be cautious with that. And of course, the second flavor is the Perched Hawk, which also looks really good. I like her Hawk a lot. They really got the Hawk just perfect. So if anything, the Hawks in this line are very well done. She has a second head, which is her I smell stanky stuff head. This is supposed to be an angry expression, but it really looks like Monstar farted, and she's just very disappointed about what she's got to endure. That being said, the paint is okay. That one eyebrow up on the top is kind of sloppy, but other than that, it looks good. Again, the flash lines from the mold are well hidden. Second alternate head is her masked head with her Hawk mask, and that looks good too. She comes with 2 open hands attached to her in the package. She has a flesh and metallic fist, a flesh and metallic gripping hand, and of course her flesh and metallic flying hands. She has her 2 flying arms. Just like with Quicksilver, they do have the little port for the lasers on the front. Make sure you have the shoulders oriented properly before you put them on, or else it's going to be a pain trying to adjust it. Let's see how her head pops off. Pops off very easily. I'm going to put her mast head on. It's kind of tight. There's still no looking up or down with this head, which is disappointing. Let's see how her arms pop out. They are tight. Way tighter than Quicksilver's. But they come out. Put her flying hands on. Pop in a lot easier. Hands are nice and snug. And just like Steel Wheel and Quicksilver, she comes with these 2 laser attachments. Again, the laser blast effects are removable, but these are flimsy. Be careful when attaching these pegs into these ports. You will break them, but they do fit in pretty snug. And if you want her flying in her laser action, you can. Do I think it's practical? Absolutely not. I'm not a fan of the wings. But if I had to have them posed in such a way, I would attach them to the ceiling or something. Change out her hands. Alright, the hands are kind of tough to get out. Careful pulling the hands out. Yeah, those are tight. I'm just afraid it's going to pull out and break that plastic because her hands are small and petite. A lot of paint fleck flying off right now. So now she's ready to beat somebody up. I will say this, I have a few gripes. For some reason, with her flesh arm and hands, the mold lines are terrible on that fist hand. Look at that, that's just awful. That's the only hand that's like that, but that arm is also pretty bad. Aesthetically, she's very appealing. I think she looks good. My biggest issues are the mold lines on this hand and arm, that blotch on her first head right there, which is, you know, just cosmetic. And the two biggest issues, I believe, are her lack of head articulation and thigh articulation. That's just awful. Visually, I think she's stunning. Let's bring in Quicksilver for size comparison. He's definitely bigger than her. Got Bluegrass. And her medium-sized brother, Steel Will. So we've got a nice little variance of Silverhawks now. We're missing the Copper Kid, and we'll have a complete hero team. I think this line is passable. They still suffer from issues that I believe were avoidable, but they look good. They look good on a shelf. They're painted half decent. They're not glossy. They come with fun accessories, good accessories at that, useful accessories. Other than some limitations with articulation, some issues with swapping parts, some minor paint blemishes here and there, they look great. SteelHeart is great. I feel like, other than her articulation, she's probably the best looking figure of the Silverhawks so far. I love that little whip in her hair. It's really a mixed bag, because I feel like Super7, whenever they're doing well with something, they always mess something else up. Her sculpt is great. Her articulation is terrible. Her accessories are great. They just haven't been able to get everything lined up with their Ultimates so far. Every figure seems to have a serious weak point that detracts from the overall experience. If you're just wanting a full set of Silverhawks for your shelf, you're not interested in really articulating them or swapping parts and accessories, pick these guys up. They look good. They look good on the shelf. The colors are pretty good. I think Steel Will and SteelHeart are probably the best two so far as the Silverhawks team is concerned. Anyway, this has been an unboxing and review of Silverhawks Ultimates SteelHeart from Super7. I am UR Supreme Toys. Thank you so much for watching.